Hey everyone, so we have the Samsung Tab S6 Lite here, the 2022 version on the left. Now on the right here we have the Lenovo Yoga Tab 11, that is a mouthful on the right. Both these come in at $350 here in the US, but you do get a couple of options for both tablets here. Starting with the Samsung, this is the base version, $350, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage with a 10.4-inch display. And if you want to spend some more money, about 80 bucks or so, you can step up to a 128 gigabyte version, but you don't get any more RAM with that. You're spending $80 more for double the storage. And then if we look over here at the Yoga, this is actually the better version of this tablet. Again, this is $350. For this $350, you're actually getting 256 gigabytes of storage, which is pretty sweet. And then you're getting actually 8 gigabytes of RAM, so double what the Samsung has in RAM. And that's for $350. If you want to save 30 bucks, again, US pricing here, you can drop down to a version that gives you 128 gigabytes of storage and then 4 gigabytes of RAM, which would be more on par with the Samsung here for a little bit cheaper. But I would recommend buying the $350 version, and it's only $30 difference. You're already spending over 300 bucks either way to get that extra, well, double the storage and double for the RAM. Talking about displays, 10.4 inches. This is 11, and as you can tell in this video, that 0.6 inches or so difference actually does make quite a bit of difference when they're side by side. But with that said, though, they are both nice, decent sized displays. And of course, we have to mention the S Pen here that comes in the box with the Samsung. If this is something that is a big deal for you, a nice stylus, a very nice stylus, this does come in the box included in that $350. You can buy a Lenovo stylus if you want. I believe it's called something like the Precision Stylus. You can, but that will cost you extra. So if you do need that stylus and you only want to spend 350 bucks, you might just want to look at the Samsung because it comes with it. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and look at both of these devices. Let's start out here with the Lenovo. So again, very nice looking device. I think both of these are excellent looking devices. You have your camera right there. You have this giant, I'm thinking this is part of a speaker. I still don't actually know, but I mean the entire thing. I believe it's more like on one side, and on the other side you get the speaker. But you do get this giant speaker looking grill right here. On this side we actually don't have anything except for a very nice look to it until you get down to one speaker right there. Here we have two mics. And on the other side you have another speaker, and this does have quad speakers, which is why I'm saying must be one speaker on either side. I don't think this is all just one speaker. But anyway, you get one speaker here. You get a micro SD card expansion slot there, which the Samsung has as well. Of course, we'll shut it off. You have your volume rocker, you have your power button, and this is actually where you charge it up with USB Type-C, which is pretty cool. And this is a very nice looking device. This is very premium looking if you ask me. You have the nice Yoga, which is now upside down. We have the nice Yoga right there. This is a fabric-y type of material, and this is, I believe, metal. There you have your camera right there. But what's really cool is it has a built-in stand, and it says Lenovo right there. And the stand is actually pretty sweet. A little bit of a rubberized guy here that can twist around. And then you can have it like that, or the way they actually want you to have it is like this, which then makes these speakers kind of bounce off of whatever you have it on and come back up at you. This is very, very nice for if you're watching movies, watching YouTube, watching whatever, and you can have it in a whole bunch of different ways like that. Now let's take a look here at the Samsung. Again, you do get the S Pen. This one is called Angora Blue, the color, which is actually a very light blue. I didn't realize it was going to be so light. It's almost like a sky blue, but it's actually a really nice blue. And you do have the button here for the S Pen. And then you do have one flat side. Come back to that in a second here. You actually have the camera right there. Let's go ahead and turn off the screen. So instead of having it on the side like a lot of devices are doing, like is on the Lenovo there, the Yoga, which means if you have it like this, you might be covering up the camera. So you gotta be careful on that. Looking around the sides here, I actually still have the plastic on mine, help keep it a bit more protected. So we don't really have anything on this side. We do have a headphone jack, which the Yoga does not have, which is pretty cool. You have a microphone. You do have one speaker there. We have your power button, your volume rocker, another mic, your expansion slot, micro SD expansion slot, your other speakers. So this only has dual speakers. They still sound really good though. And then your USB Type-C for charging and whatnot. And then the back here, you can see powered by AKG, or sound, Samsung. And then you have your camera right there. Now this does not really have any spot to really sit on your device. The best spot I've found is on the side here. It is magnetized. It does hold on actually pretty well, but it's not like the, I'll show off here, the S series, don't mind the fingerprints. It has an actual spot on the back of it for charging. So it does kind of sit here, or it can sit on the other side if you will, but it doesn't really hold on as well. That is on the side with the power button. And it doesn't really sit on top too well at all. Or the bottom, which is where I wish they would have put it. Or on the very back, would have been awesome too. And then we will get into browsing speed in just a second here. But I do need to mention one thing. You guys can't tell as much from this angle, but this is pretty big because of that giant hump on the back that we showed off, along with the stand, the built-in stand there. The back end of it is pretty big. So I mean, it does raise it up quite a bit. The rest of it is pretty skinny, but if you have it next to a regular tablet that doesn't have that array there, you'll see this is way skinnier overall. This thing is like huge. It's probably about 4 times the size thickness of that because of that hump, which is both good and bad. Again, for watching videos, it's awesome. And then before we get into the actual browsing here and games, then we'll do some gameplay. We need to talk about the processors that are in here. For the Yoga, so we are talking about a MediaTek G90T, aka M8185, which is a MediaTek, which you don't see in too many devices. A lot of times they are going to be like what the Samsung has here, which is a Snapdragon 720G, also known as a Qualcomm SM7125. So I do have 2 pretty different processors here. We'll see how they stack up. Again, these are right at the same exact price, the 2 that we have here. So we're just gonna go to Best Buy. We'll just do a very quick speed test. So there you can see the Samsung one. Let that pop on in. We will do a search here on Best Buy's website for unlocked phones. So both about the same for that. A lot of times, actually, my own personal testing, the Yoga is actually quicker than the Samsung in a lot of regards. Go ahead, we'll hit the stand there. And of course, now they're both about the same. Go ahead and hit that charger. Yeah, wireless charger. Kind of let those load in. Not sure what this one's doing. All right, going to Pokemon.com here. This is coming up very weirdly. I've never seen it come up like that. So you can see here, this time the Yoga came in faster. Go ahead and hit that. And again, this is a bigger display. And hopefully, one thing I wanted to point out about the displays and why I said I prefer the Yoga is, as you can see here, this is just more white. This is a little bit more of a yellowy orangish hue to it. This is a lot more white. It just, some of you will not notice if they're not side by side. If you're just looking at it, it looks pretty dang white. But when they're right next to each other, you can definitely tell the Yoga is actually more white. The colors are just a bit more colorful. They're a bit more popping. the display on here to me is just better. It just looks a little bit better. Again, they're not side by side. You probably would not even notice. But when they are side by side, again, they are the same price. The display on here, I would say, is going to be better. So we do that. Okay. So again, going through browsing speed here. We'll hit Dragon, hit search. Okay, we get to the cards. And you can't really zoom in on either of these on websites like Pokemon. On other websites, of course you can. Alright, then we will go into just a Roblox gaming test here. It's going into Royal High because it's a good game on Roblox, at least, for testing how well the devices do. At least in Roblox. I mean, Roblox, no, is not the hardest of games to load in. But this is a good game in Roblox to test how tablets do. Alright, so we let this load in. So we turned it up to max graphics. We are, of course, doing this on the Samsung first here. Again, some tablets cannot even load this game in whatsoever. Please get out of my way. The boat still did not load in. But you can see the water actually looks pretty decent. It's a little bit laggy, I would say, but it looks pretty decent. And of course, it has to turn dark to nighttime. But you guys can still get the sense here. See, the waterfall is actually flowing rather nice. We run up here. I'm not getting any slowdowns. Again, some devices will actually cut you out of this. Let me actually go ahead here and set ourselves on fire. So really, no issues. I'll do the same thing here with the yoga. I'm sorry about that giant glare spot. But anyway, graphics are up all the way. Again, Royal High. Again, I know there are more graphical games I could test out, but for the purpose of this video, this is the game I have. Again, we're going to do a more graphically intensive game here. Again, boat's not loading in. And this is another spot where that giant hump on the back is actually rather nice. And you can see here we're having some issues with the yoga. But anyway, the nice big hump on the back here is nice because it kind of leans it up towards you a bit more. For gaming, especially if you're going to use a controller or something, or you can do have that and have it even more upright towards you. But as you can see, we cannot do max graphics on the yoga. Samsung we could. So again, most games are going to play just fine. Most Roblox games, at least, I said Royal High games. Roblox games should play just fine. But some of the more graphical games, like Royal High, you don't have to turn on the graphics. And last but not least, here we're going to do a speaker test. So make sure to turn that up all the way. So again, they actually want you can tell by the camera there, they want you using it like this, which is a little bit awkward, but they want you with, this is really how they want you to use this device, is with the kickstand up, and then the speaker here facing the, well, really wherever you have it on your desk or whatever, and kind of towards you. So again, we're going to start here with the yoga. We have a speaker there, speaker here, and I'm pretty sure there's a speaker on either side here. I don't think it's just one thing because it says it has 4 quad speakers. Both these do have Dolby turned on. So let's get on into this.
I'm a broken home. I gave you all the bricks that I own and know. I'm letting go. I'm breaking these walls down, If you want adventure, then fly to home. But if you want to travel, then go alone.
Then going over to Samsung, same song. We need to turn this down. There we go, about 19 second mark there. Already lost the volume rocker. Turning up the volume rocker. Again, this does have Adobe turned on. Both of these do have Adobe. So again, speaker and speaker. This only has dual speakers, but let's see how they compare right now.
That I own and know. I'm letting go. I'm breaking these walls down, breaking these walls down. If you want adventure, then fly to home. But if you want to travel, then go alone. Yeah, what's the point in us if I never know?
So both of them sound actually rather good, I would say. Even though the Samsung has half the speakers that the Yoga has, I think it actually is a little bit louder. But both of these sound really good. I wouldn't say you would have any complaints. Yeah, both very, very good. Y'all let me know what you think of these two tablets. Let me know which one you would choose. Yeah. I mean, I like them both. So, I mean, Yoga has some benefits over Samsung. Samsung has some benefits over the Yoga. Again, I do think this display is a little bit nicer. 11 inches is a little bit bigger. And I do love the back, how it has a built-in stand. Of course, you can get a case for that and have the same thing. Of course, Samsung, you do get the really cool S Pen, which I didn't show off at all in this video. But I mean, it's a really awesome stylus. You can do a whole bunch of cool things with. Yeah, so you guys let me know what you think. And then this was a little bit better for gaming. You all let me know what you think. I like them both. Leave me your comments below. Thank you all very much for watching. As always, I appreciate you. Hope you have a good one. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.